Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling something absolutely massive in the enterprise AI space. We're going to break down a really critical evolution that's happening literally right now in the tech world. We are looking at the fundamental shift from isolated AI agents to unified, intelligent, agentic frameworks. If you've been paying any attention at all to enterprise automation, you know we've moved way past simple chatbots. But, as these systems grow, so does the chaos. So, let's clear up the noise. Now, to really get why this shift is such a big deal, we got to look at the reality on the ground. According to data from the Boston Consulting Group, a staggering 75% of technology leaders fear the silent failure of their AI investments. Just think about that for a second. 3 out of 4 leaders are terrified that they're pouring all this money into these tools, only to see absolutely zero real-world impact on their bottom line.
And honestly, that exact fear leads us right into the million-dollar question plaguing enterprise leaders today. How do we actually scale AI beyond a single use case? Because let's face it, building a bot to do one specific thing, that's relatively easy. But doing it 100 times across massive international footprints, dealing with profoundly messy data, entirely outdated legacy technology stacks, and incredibly complex governance? Yeah, that is exactly where the wheels tend to fall off. Leaders are seriously struggling to manage this exploding complexity and achieve a real return on investment without just, creating a totally fragmented, chaotic IT environment.
Section 1. What are AI agents? The micro building blocks. Okay, so let's set our baseline. Think of an individual AI agent, kind of like a highly specialized worker on an assembly line. It's a software entity designed to perceive information, reason over it, and take action, but strictly within explicit predefined boundaries to achieve one very specific, well-defined goal. So for example, an access management agent might check eligibility and update an IT ticket, or maybe a finance agent extracts data from an invoice. They make decisions, sure, but only for their specific slice of the pie. Your finance agent isn't going to suddenly decide to order pizza for the whole office, right? It's bounded.
And this perfectly illustrates how these individual agents operate in a vacuum. Each one is completely heads down, handling its own specific task. Maybe it's looking up a record, tagging a ticket, or checking a form. But they operate independently. They don't talk to each other to understand the larger business context. On their own, they're fantastic for high-speed, consistent, predictable automation, but they strictly lack any sort of shared big-picture view.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the sheer variety of decision-making styles these individual agents use. They aren't all just simple script followers. You've got your reactive agents that use predefined rules, like an IT troubleshooting bot responding to a VPN issue. You've got model-based agents that actually maintain an internal representation of their environment, kind of like a security agent updating access based on changing user context. Then there are utility-based agents. They weigh potential outcomes to choose the highest value action, like figuring out how to allocate workforce training resources. And finally, learning agents that adjust their behavior based on feedback over time. But remember, even the most capable learning agent we're talking about here is still scoped purely to its own specific domain.
Section 2. The Agentic AI Framework. Zooming out to orchestration.
All right, so here is the absolutely crucial point of this whole explainer. Simply having a bunch of different AI agents, that does not automatically give you agentic AI. Agentic AI is the system that sits above them all, almost like a factory floor manager. It utilizes large language models to autonomously plan, reason, and orchestrate actions across all those individual workers, tools, and systems to achieve a broader business goal. It provides that missing unifying layer. It's the thing that shifts your automation strategy from merely completing a single, isolated task to actually delivering a complete end-to-end outcome.
IBM actually breaks this engine down into a really brilliant 4-step problem-solving approach. First up, it perceives, by gathering and processing data from its environment. Second, and this is the real magic, it reasons. The large language model acts as the brain, analyzing the data to understand the situation and determine a strategy. Third, it acts, by integrating with external tools and deploying the right individual agents for the job. And fourth, it learns, through feedback, to continuously improve. This continuous loop is a total game changer, because it allows the entire framework to dynamically adapt when business conditions change, rather than just throwing an error and breaking down the second it hits an unexpected exception.
Section 3. Agents versus Agentic AI. The core juxtaposition.
Okay, let's put these head-to-head to really lock this in. Here's the bottom line. AI agents are task-focused with bounded autonomy. They decide how to do a specific job within their strict guardrails. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is outcome-focused with strategic autonomy. It acts as the manager. It's determining the overall path, managing all the messy dependencies, recovering from failures, and assembling the exact right sequence of agents to actually get the big job done.
If we look at this comparison, you can really see the difference in scale, especially when it comes to adaptation. An individual AI agent, it might learn how to populate a specific HR form just a little bit faster based on local context. But an agentic AI system has dynamic workflow-level adaptation. It can proactively update your entire company's onboarding workflow when HR policies or approval paths change. It seamlessly manages the shared context that those isolated, standalone agents completely lack.
There's this insight directly from IBM that I think just perfectly sums up everything we're talking about today. Agentic AI is the framework. AI agents are the building blocks within the framework. It's that simple. If you deploy building blocks without the framework, you are going to end up with a fragmented, disconnected mess of automations. You literally cannot orchestrate complex end-to-end enterprise workflows with just building blocks alone.
Section 4. Real-world AI use cases, bringing it all together. So let's bring it all together and look at the real world. Across so many diverse industries, agentic AI is moving way beyond simple generative text or basic robotic process automation. In financial services, it's autonomously analyzing vast amounts of real-time market data to strategically execute trades. In supply chain and robotics, places like Amazon are using agentic systems to coordinate incredibly complex physical tasks across massive fulfillment centers. In city planning, it's crunching real-time camera and traffic sensor datasets to completely optimize urban flow. And over in human resources, it's allowing organizations to graduate from those basic Gen AI chatbots, providing dynamic, multi-step employee support and autonomous decision-making. That frees up your human professionals to do actual strategic work. Machines are now performing highly complex tasks with minimal human intervention. It's wild.
So, I want to wrap up this explainer by throwing a challenge your way. Whether you're evaluating your own enterprise architecture or just looking at the projects you're currently learning about, ask yourself, are you just building an isolated task, or are you orchestrating a truly intelligent workflow? Because deploying 100 disconnected bots won't save a broken system. Honestly, it will probably just fail 100 times faster. The future absolutely belongs to those who use the agentic framework to drive real, adaptable, end-to-end business outcomes. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep building smart.